Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and welcome back to another episode of my Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020 playthrough. Uh, Second season into this Austin Peay Governor's career. Austin Peay College in the OVC, Ohio Valley Conference. Uh, Last episode, we started out the season, went over some of my recruiting decisions and how everything went with recruiting, went over my depth charts and those kind of things. And we went and won. It was at home against Texas A&M CC. Not a big challenge, but we won pretty easily. And that was how we left that episode. And then offline, I played four more games. We won easily against Central Arkansas at home. One on the road, a pretty good game against Illinois State. That one was like um, really close at halftime, and we just had a great second half. And then going back to the schedule, we hit some really tough challenges. Went on the road against Texas A&M. They a bigger conference from the SEC, bigger program, of course, and they easily won us. I think at times we may have kept it kind of closer than I expected. The second half was a little bit better, but they easily won. And then after that, we faced our toughest team, I think, by far, since I've been with this playthrough. Number 2, Cincinnati Bearcats, and they demolished us. I don't even know, 83-51, I don't even know if that tells the story. Once again, I think we made it closer in the second half, but look at that first half score, 44-19. And that was primarily, I'm sure, with them using their starters. And I don't know, I'm looking at the numbers here. They didn't use their bench too much. I was expecting maybe that they would have some guys down here with 12, 10 to 12 minutes or so, but really they played their starters the whole game, and they just annihilated us. Kind of close in the second half, but really not close. So we're 3-2 now, and I thought I'd come back today with this game against George Washington. We're at home. Our scout, or I keep saying that, it's our assistant coach who's in charge of scouting, thinks we're going to lose this one. They've got the advantage pretty heavily over us. But I thought of the remaining non-conference schedule, it's one of the better matchups we have in terms of the quality of team we're facing and our chances of winning. I really think this is a tougher non-conference schedule than last year. And last year we went through and finished 8-3 going into our conference schedule. There's no way we'll do that this year. This schedule is really tough. I mean, George Washington, I think, is going to be tough, but on the road against Seton Hall, on the road against Texas Tech, out of these 11 games, if we win 6, I'll be more than happy. So 6-5 would be great, I think, if we could do it. But before we get to the game, I was going to look at a couple other things. Number one, recruiting. We did get a verbal from the center that we've been working on. Last I checked, he was like just I think we were just second on his list, but he decided to commit to us. One of the things I think is going on here too is I'm now seeing his stats from, I'm assuming, his last season in high school. Maybe, I don't really know, but these seem different than they were when I recruited him. And if that's the case, then I'm hoping that means that he's going to go kind of like what McKinnis did. I recruited him. He was like a 2-star recruit. And when he joined the team, I mean, he's 3.5 stars right now as a freshman. And the same thing's going on with Ike King. This guy looks way better with his points and rebounds per game than he was looking when I recruited him. I've offered him a scholarship. He's currently favoring us. We're his top 10, so I'm hoping, or his top school, I'm hoping that's enough to lock him in. And I'll just have to go with it. Not the greatest recruiting class, not as good as I was hoping, but I don't want to go empty-handed and have to scramble as we get towards the spring. So the next thing I wanted to look at, stats on this team. So 5 games into it, and no question that McInnes is our leading scorer, kind of taking off where Martin, the departing shooting guard from last year, taking off where he left off. But I'm seeing some troubling spots from him. Number one, when he's good, he's good, but his shooting percentage can be really bad. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. And this is against, I know, quality competition. But he was 3 for 14 in field goals against Cincinnati, 3 for 12 against Texas A&M. He's definitely, I think, overmatched when he's up against these bigger schools. And you can see first 3 games, 21, 24, 14 points. Texas A&M and Cincinnati, 13 points, 6 points. So that's a problem. I know he's a freshman, so I can't really expect too much from him, but I feel like I don't think he's going to be the player his ratings show yet. I mean, 3.5, 4.5 potential, that's great, but I still think he's got some development to do. And another thing that's really bothering me is this coach relationship. I do not know where that's coming from. He says he expects starters' minutes for playing time. Is that what it is? I really wish I could. This is another part of the game where I wish it was fleshed out just a little bit more. Maybe they'll work on that in future versions because I can't really impact that. There's a choice here to contact the player, but it's like his attitude. I don't want to give him anything like this. I want to be able to praise him and try to turn that around, but the only thing I can do is go negative. I can tell him to do certain things on the floor, but his grades and things like that, but I can't work on the relationship. And so I really don't know what's going on because of it. I mean, he's the leading scorer. He wants starters minutes. He's leading the team in minutes. So I don't know what to say about that. Another thing that's really surprising me is Greg Laws is the backup power forward, and he's looking really good. He's a junior. He's not got much room to develop based on these ratings here, but game logs wise, look at the scoring in the last 3 games. So this is against quality competition. On the road against Illinois State, 13 points. Texas A&M, 15 points, 12 points against Cincinnati. You take out the defensive numbers, I mean, they're still pretty good because, look, he's getting 14, 22, 17 minutes a game. I mean, he's not even averaging 20 minutes a game and putting up these numbers. Our starting power forward is Greg Edwards, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm going with Greg Edwards. Look at his player stats. Well, let me look at the game logs. That was showing it pretty well. He's getting less minutes and scoring hard. Well, this has got to be wrong. I'm looking at the wrong guy, surely. So maybe not Greg Laws. Who is the depth? I'll just look at the depth chart. I thought Edwards, yeah. Edwards is the guy who's getting most of the starts at power forward, and look at how he's playing. Terribly. He's getting, looks like he might be getting into foul trouble early, and he's not getting a whole lot of minutes. He doesn't care on playing time. I think I need to really put Laws in there more at power forward, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just give him a couple more minutes. That puts him at 16. Edwards at 20. Let's see if this continues. I do like the fact that Laws has a pretty good rating there at inside shooting. Potential for rebounding is really good. But this guy might be my best bet in terms of the power forward as the season goes on. Now, if I look back at the stats, another thing just based on points, Jepson has been real disappointing. 9 points a game. Rebounds, he's playing pretty well defensively, But this guy's 3.5 with 4-star potential. He's not really showing it. I don't. He's a junior. If last year he was a little underwhelming as well. Didn't score 10 points a game, 4 rebounds a game. I don't know. This guy. I don't know if I have really any good options. Cromer is the backup at small forward. He's not doing too much either. So Marshak, I've played Marshak quite a bit. I think based on, I mean, he's getting at times he's getting over 10 minutes, but small forward is not looking too good either. So point guard, same deal. McMillian and Mike Ivory trying to balance their playing time, but if you look at between the two, there's no question to me. Well, it's not by much, but McMillian is definitely outperforming, I think, Ivory. And Ivory just, man, I just don't know what to think about this guy. It's he's another one who is really not pleased with the coach, and he wants playing time, I'm sure, but I just don't think I can give it to him. So one of the things I thought about, and I'm showing all this, we had to give you a look at the stats on the team, but I'm also thinking about on this depth chart, now I don't know if I can change the sub out minutes. I mean, how do I get to that? Okay. All right. That's what I was looking for. So I've got him sub at or below 75. I wonder if I did 70, if that would improve his minutes a little bit. And we'll see. I think that's probably, I've got him set for 30 minutes, so I think that's where he's probably missing out. And I'll play with that for a couple games and see how that goes. But what I wanted to do today is go ahead and play this next game. I think it's going to be a big challenge. I mean, George Washington, they're 3-1 right now coming into this game. I want to look back at the scouting report just to see where we're matching up. So their point guard, they show we're pretty balanced inside. I don't think I really want to go with either balanced or favor inside yet. Another thing I'll show you when we get into the games, but I've still been favoring outside. Last year, it was a mix. Depending on the flow of the game, sometimes I would favor inside. Sometimes I would favor heavy outside. Sometimes I would go for a balanced. I usually like to start out every game in a balanced set, where it's balancing between outside and inside. But I've basically been sticking to favoring outside because we are so weak at center and really power forward. It's Greg Edwards really isn't showing me much right now. And so I think I want to stick to that starting out this game to favor outside. I want to slow down the offensive pace a little bit. Hopefully that will cut down on turnovers, and I'm going to leave everything else where it is for now. And let's go ahead and get it started. Hopefully we'll be playing better at home. It seems like in general we do play a lot better at home, but right away they're up 2-0, and we didn't do much on their possession. Jepson missed the shot but drew the foul. Free throw shooting has been really bad too. I mean, most games we're struggling to get over 60%, and I think that's really hurting us. Greg Edwards called for a foul already. It's 2-1 game, and they make a three. It's 4-1, and we miss a three there. I've another problem when we get cold hitting those threes. we stay cold. I haven't seen too many runs, and Greg Edwards already in foul trouble, second. So that's how the backup is getting play time. That's how Laws is getting a lot of time there. I'm sure at power forward. Man, 3 fouls already. That was Jepson, his first. They're going to go to the line. It's a 7-1 game. We can't even get possession. That was terrible. Finally, we hit a 3. That's our first field goal of the game, but they come right back. It's 12-4. So now, I think now reality is starting to set in. We are not, and I'm going to work the refs on that. 4 fouls. We are not the team we were last year. We got a long way to go. Another thing, depending on how this game turns out, we're already down 10 points. I'm also going to go back into my strategy and probably, I think we have it at 60% using our set offenses. I think I'm going to lower that and give them more freedom, because I think we're struggling with the offenses still a little bit, and I don't want that to hurt us too much more. I mean, we've already, 3 turnovers to their 1. It's a 17-6 game. We're just really struggling. And another foul. I'm going to favor inside just to see if that changes anything when we go back on offense. And we draw a foul, but it's 5-2 in their favor when it comes to team fouls. And we can't get anything going there inside on that one. We did get a shot off, if nothing else. Good move inside by Jepson. Laws, but he misses the basket. And this is terrible. I'm going to improve the defensive efficiency and crash the boards a little bit more. I feel like we're down 15. And we're 2 for 11 shooting, and I'm going to go heavy outside and just see if we can't get back in this game. I know and Mike Ivory turns it over. I really don't know if it's going to be a situation. He's a sophomore. I wonder if he might even just leave, because he's been disgruntled since I've taken over this team. There's finally a 3-pointer. I think our only baskets have been 3-pointers. Is that true? We're 2 for 3. No, we have one more. But 23-9. And Mallet draws a foul. He's another one who's been really struggling. He converts, makes a good 3-point play there, and we're back within 11. And on the other end, they draw another foul. 6-3 in team fouls. And they make both of them, and we're down 13 points. And out of bounds to us, but we missed it. Looks like it missed a 3-pointer there. Good play there. Rebound inside. We don't really get a whole lot of second chance points. I think that was a 3. So they've doubled up in scoring. 28-14. Mallet turns it over. And they travel on the other end, so we get it back. Turnovers 5-3. Could be worse. Field goals, though, 5 for 18. And that's what I'm talking about. McKinnis 0 for 3. So he's a little bit streaky, and he's also just really not a great shooter yet. I just think he really needs to develop quite a bit more before those ratings. Before I believe those ratings. And so there's another foul. That's the 7th, so that's even though that was a shooting foul, they're gonna be at the line the rest of the half. Holland draws a foul, goes to the line, makes 1 of 2, but we'll get the rebound, can't do anything with it. 15-point game. And they're starting to foul. Looks like they've got their bench out there and they're fouling a little bit more. 13-point game. We get the ball back. I hope that was a steal, but we can't convert. McMillian in the game now. McKinnis still no points. I think reality's starting to set in for me with him. Man, Man, we throw it away. We get within 11 and can't really convert. A low-scoring game for the most part. That was a three-pointer, gets us within 10, but they come right back, score. And that was McInnes's first points of the game, a three-pointer. Shooting has just been horrible. 9 for 25 for us in this game. And I feel like, and another foul. That was the first one on McInnes. I think that Cincinnati game, if it's possible that it could do it, I think it really shook this team up. I mean, that was a really terrible loss. And hey, we're back within 7. This is the closest we've been since, first few minutes of the game. 5 seconds left in the half. We've got the ball. I should have set a play there, but I didn't. 36-29. McInnes wound up. Looks like he hit a couple 3-pointers, and that's giving him 6 points going into the half. So he's tied with the team lead with Jepson. On their end, Smalls, DeSantis, both those guys with 10 points. Just says Ford. I really wish you could click on these guys. Maybe that's something that it shows that they should be clickable, but I don't think they are. I think you can call a timeout, I think, and see the other team. Let me. No, I don't think you can here on this screen, but it would be nice if you could click on these guys just to see more details on the player. But you can see that the points are coming because they're out shooting us. 12 for 24, 4 for 11, and 3-pointers. So we're close there, but they're 8 for 9 for free throws. Out rebounding us 16-13. Turnovers 8-7. So we're close there, but they're out assist. They have 9 to our 7. Cunningham 4 assists, not too bad. But backup, is anybody looking good? Mallet, believe it or not, is having one of his best games so far. Ivory doing nothing really. 5 minutes, no shots, 1 turnover. That's just not. It's not going to cut it, you know. At least McMillian, he's getting out there. He's got an assist. He's making a couple of attempts, if nothing else. So let's go back. I'm gonna probably leave it the way it is because we got a run going there at least to get it close. So I'm gonna heavily favor outside. I'm gonna keep that defensive intensity up, and right away we throw it away. And they hit a 3, so they're up by 10 now. Good move inside there from Cunningham. Now we're down by 6. Closest we've been in a while. Oh, good job there from Jepson. So we're down by 4, and it's a 2-point game. And they've clawed a timeout. I'm going to go ahead and give him some praise. That just came out of nowhere. Just great. And they appreciate the praise. That was just a great run. A lot of rebounds. Maybe this defensive intensity is doing well as long as we don't get into foul trouble. So let's see if we can keep it up. Oh, we do, and a foul on the other end. This is going to be Holland. He's got a chance to tie. No, it's not a shooting foul. And they throw it away. So they're going cold a little bit right now, and we just tied it up. And they throw it away again. The defensive intensity, maybe that's getting to them. And looks like we're playing a zone offense right now. And Edwards makes the shot, goes to the line. Jepson having a good game here, 10 points. And we're up by 3 points. First lead of the game for us. And they come back and score. That may have settled their jitters, but a foul on the other end. So it's 3-0 in team fouls for the half. I hope that keeps up. And a big 3-pointer there from Cunningham. Cunningham up to 9 points. And we're up by 4, our biggest lead of the game. And they come back with a 3. And we come back with a 3. We need a turnover or something here. We got the rebound. But I think McInnes forced it. Travel. McInnes turns it over. McKinnis really struggling, not having his best game. We're up by 4, but they got the ball back. 13, just almost 14 minutes left in the game. They miss a 3, and we can't convert. Give it right back to them. We need to score here this possession. We can't. Shooting 19 for 40, but they're also having some problems. They're below. Good play there from McKinnis. They're below 50% now, and a turnover. It's a 6-point game. I want to motivate this team again. Give them some praise. They're not listening right now. Holland needs to go out. I think he'll probably will. Let me double check. Yeah, Mallett's going to be back in there. Mallett's not having a bad game. Maybe this is one of those where he decides to start playing well. I mean, this is the 6th game of the season. I expect some of these guys to start showing a little bit more. That's our first foul of the half. Just under 11 minutes left on a big 3-pointer. And we throw it away. And it's Mike Ivory. After this game, I'm just going to cut his playtime down. He is just... he's just not showing me anything. And he throws it away again. I don't know, because I'm simming, if I can take him out. But I don't want him in there anymore. Speedy McMillian, can I do that? Or am I going to have to call a timeout? Probably going to have to call a timeout when he comes. Let's see. Or do I do it here? There we go. And let's get back to the game. So, and foul right off the bat on Mallett. Oh, but we get the ball back. Out of bounds to George Washington. I missed a little bit of what happened there. So it's a 5-point game. 9:24 left. And they score. And we score. 5-point game again. And they draw the foul. Who was that on? That's Jepson. His 3rd foul, and he's having a good game. I don't really want to lose him too much in this game. They missed both free throws. And a big 3-pointer there from Cunningham, who's having one of his better games. And then on the other end, we get the ball back. A foul. That's going to be a shooting foul, I think. Jepson missed the dunk. And Jepson's staying in there with 3 fouls, I think. A little gutsy, maybe. He misses the first, makes the second. We're, again, 5 for 8 in free throws. And they're calling a timeout. I think I want to just keep playing here. It's a 9-point game. Jeff Brown makes the shot, and it's a media timeout. I don't know if there's a foul. It is. Jepson is 4th. He's got to go out now. And they convert, and Marshak looks like it's going to be coming in. Is that right? And we turn it over. 6-point game, but that we get it right back. And a good play inside there from Laws. 6 points from him, and they turn it over. It's an 8-point game, 6.5 minutes left. And a foul, Brian Owens, his 4th foul, so he's probably going to go out for them, but that's going to be, who's that going to be at the line? Mallett. No, he's not going to the line. Oh, good play inside. 10 points, our biggest lead of the game. And McKenna's still struggling, 4 for 13 shooting. And he's going to draw a foul here, but it's their 16 foul, so it's not going to take us to the line yet. Oh, good play inside from Laws. Law is really impressing me right now. His ratings don't show it, but man, he's really quick. Couple baskets for him, but good move inside from Holland. It's an 8-point game, and pass deflected out of bounds. Let's. I'm going to keep giving them some praise. They do appreciate it. I think after a couple more possessions, I'm going to start slowing the offense down a little bit. I just think we need to keep scoring. So I don't want to give it in too quick. Let me throw it away. Maybe I should slow the pace down just a little bit. Even more. Oh, good play there from McInnes. He's up to 13 points, but his shooting is a problem. And Mike Holland called for the foul. Why would you do that? It's a 10-point game. I'm going to move to a stall offense when we come back with the ball. And they get a big three-pointer. And it's going to be a foul on Gordon, his third. McInnes is going to go to the line. I don't know what he's been doing so far at the free throw line. He misses the first one. Is that right? No, he makes them both. Whew, it's a 9-point game. A minute and a half left. I've still got that intensity up there pretty high, but they hit a big three-pointer. Oh, good play there from McInnes. That's the kind of stuff, if he can do that routinely, I'm going to be really happy with him. And his free throws or field goal percentage now up to 40%, so that's a little bit better. Do I need to motivate this team again? I think so. I'm still going to praise them. They've really turned this one around, whether we win or not at this point. So who we got out there? Holland, Edwards, Jepson, McInnes. McInnes is the only one who's looking pretty tired, but I'm keeping that intensity up on the defense. And they miss a three-pointer and foul right away. It's going to be Cunningham going to the line. I think Cunningham is pretty decent at the free throw line, but he misses the second one. And McInnes called for a foul right away. It's a 9-point game. 8 for 12 is what we are on free throws. They're not at the line yet, though, so that was a foul we had to give. So I'm not too worried. I think we're going to win this one. And we really pulled that one out of thin air. We looked terrible at the start of the game. Just unbelievably terrible. And to come back and win, so far this is the win of the season. I think George Washington even came in like 3-1 or something like that. I don't even know, but McInnes, this is the thing about McInnes, and it's because I guess the offense that we're running, it's just probably going to be that way. So our record is now 4-2. He has been the player of the game on all 4 of those wins. So as much as I've dogged him a little bit, that's the deal with this team. It's like that saying, if you've heard it, how McInnes goes is how it goes the team. And so it's scaring me a little bit because he's just a freshman, and I don't know if you should be relying too much on a freshman to score all your points. But that's the position we're in. But let's take a look at this game and see how we pulled it out. You can see just from the scoring, 44-28. I think the big thing had to have been that defensive intensity. I think I turned it up a little bit towards the end of the first half and got it to within 7 at the half. I mean, they were up by as many as 14 or more at one point or several points in the game. Their largest lead was 15, so they were up by 15 in that first half. Just 2 lead changes. So when we took charge of the game, we took charge, so that's really good. Great second half, almost a dominating second half. They were over 50% shooting at halftime. They wound up 42%. They had a hard time shooting threes. Didn't go to the line that much either. We did not get into foul trouble the whole second half. So awesome job there with that defensive intensity as high as it was. Rebounds, they out-rebounded us just a little bit. 13-10, 22, take that back in assists. So we had some good assist totals for this game. 15-20 in turnovers, and that was the second half. I mean, they kept turning it over a lot, and we were able to capitalize. Points in the paint, 26-14 in our favor, and then fast break points, 10-4. That's pretty good. Players, though, when it comes to who led us, I mean, Cunningham and Jepson really had good games too, especially Cunningham. This may have been his best game of the season. I mean, 13 13 points, that's great, but 7 assists. I mean, he did a good job leading the team. Just a couple of turnovers, no fouls. Edwards, though, Laws was better, and Laws played more time. So when I made those adjustments, and Edwards got into foul trouble, I guess, early, Laws took advantage of that and played a good game, and even Mallet had a good game. But the big problem is this guy, Ivory. I'm just gonna have to go in there and readjust his playtime even more. And then total shooting, I don't know if I mentioned that, but we went from 20-30% early in the game to finish the game right at 50%. This was a great game. I'm really happy after this one. Makes me feel a little bit better too about our chances of hitting that 6-win target for the out of conference scores. I really didn't, or schedule. I didn't think that was going to happen. And we may have had a couple emails here too come through. A lot of times at this point it's just scouting reports. Let me double check though. And it is Texas Tech. My guess is they're going to be heavily favored. No, 50-50. So they're thinking our guard play, small forwards is going to be a little bit better. And inside, they're probably going to dominate us a little bit. It's going to be hard to tell. This guy's looking pretty good, though. 8 rebounds, 1.5 blocks per game. They've only played Florida is the only ranked opponent they played, and they lost by 30. So this could be an interesting game on the road. It may have been a better challenge for us, but I wanted to give us a game that we had a chance to win as well. Let me go back and look at how the other games in our conference went. So was that the third? Yeah. So there's us over George Washington. Northern Illinois beat Tennessee Martin. Tennessee State won, but that's not a very tough opponent, I don't think. Eastern Kentucky won against Northwestern State, and then Belmont beat Jackson State. If you look at the standings, we're still doing pretty good in our non-conference schedule because we have a tougher schedule. I'm almost positive. If you look at Belmont, they've played NC Asheville, Duquesne, Louisiana Tech, at George Mason, and they won, so that's a decent win, I guess. But we have definitely, I think, been a little bit better. And I tell you something, too. This is impressing me a little bit, too. Our RPI rank is 12th. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be, 12th in the country. There's probably, Cincinnati's number one. There's nobody in our conference that would even be close to that, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if it shows it in the standings here. RPI, the nearest team in the conference in terms of RPI is Murray State at 83. So we are 12th to their 83. That's how tough the non-conference schedule has been. And to be 4-2 at this point, I'm really happy. So next episode, I'll probably go through. So we got 5 games left. Seton Hall, Loyola. I'll probably just go through until we get to the opening conference schedule. There's some games here, these next 3 games are probably going to be pretty challenging. I hope that we can win against Little Rock and maybe play good on the road against Louisiana Monroe. That, if we do, that'll probably get us to 6 wins. But next episode, I'll come back and start the conference play. And I really am going to go work on the depth and get those depth charts up. So, I don't know when this will update. Hoping that maybe it'll get a little bit better after a couple more games. But Ivory, it's this guy's just too big of a risk. And just in the plus or minus, I mean, it really shows up there to me. I'm looking at that kind of like the hockey plus minus. I'm assuming it's kind of based on the same thing. He's negative every game. So when he plays, the team really stinks it up. Even against the teams that were winning, when he's on the floor, we're being outperformed. Is the way I'm, basically the way I'm reading that. So if that's the case, I'm really going to have to cut his minutes. And what that would mean, I'm not 100% happy with McMillian either, but I think he's, at this point, a little bit better. I mean, he's had only one game where you can say that about him, where he's a negative plus minus. So that's something I'll work on too, offline and over the next few games, and see how that shakes out, because I really want to be competitive when we get to that conference schedule. If you look at the board, what they want us to do, qualify for the NIT tournament, win the conference tournament. We've already done that, so that's going to be hard to do. Improve school prestige. I think we should be on the road to that, because we're already at a full 2 prestige when our conference is 1.5. So that should be good. But anyway, as always, I really appreciate your support of this playthrough and my channel. I hope you like it. I continue to get some pretty good feedback on this playing this game. I really enjoy it. I'm hoping to stick to a schedule of 2 episodes a week with this and my Out of the Park 21, but I'm a big XCOM fan, and they just released a new game of that today, so I want to get some playing time into that too over the week, and so my playtime's going to be limited, and I may struggle to get 2 episodes every week, but that's what I'm shooting for. But hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next episode.